It is one of the most fiercely contested matches in the English game. Manchester United against Arsenal, and it's live from Old Trafford. Stay with us, we'll have every kick of the ball for you right here on EA TV.
Hello and welcome back to Armchair Armory. We have Manchester United on Thursday, and as a special treat I thought I'd do my first collaboration for this game. So this is my conversation previewing the game against Man United with a good friend of mine, goes by the name of thatguystefan on Twitter. So if you want to follow him at thatguystefan. Yeah, so it's about a 40-minute conversation about all things Man United and Arsenal, so enjoy. So yeah, welcome to Armchair Armory, Stefan.
Thank you for having me, Dan. Yeah, pleasure to be on.
Yeah, my first ever collaboration with somebody.
Had to be done.
Yeah, so far for the last kind of like, I don't know, 11, 12 months, something like that, 13 months, I've basically been doing this all on my own, so it's kind of a new experience for me. So yeah, let's see how we get on. So yeah, we've got obviously Arsenal playing Man United at Old Trafford this weekend, and I thought, well, let's bring on probably my favourite Man United fan. So Stefan and I have worked together for, how long has it been now? Like 5 years, something like that, 4 or 5
Probably
years?
about half a decade, yeah, which is quite a long time.
Yeah. And Stefan's of course like a massive Man United fan, so yeah, I thought I'd bring him on to talk about the game, being that you know, it's been a long-standing rivalry between Arsenal and Man United, even in the kind of slight decline that both clubs are in at the moment. So yeah, so I guess we'll start with kind of let you take the floor with what's going on at Man United at Man United at the moment, and you know, I think we're well and truly past the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era now.
I can't believe it. I mean, we've obviously been chatting Man United Arsenal for a long time now, but where do I begin with United this season? I mean, great transfer window, brought in Ronaldo. I mean, that's just bringing my childhood back. That's been amazing. He's scoring almost every game, so that's been fantastic. Sancho and Varane as well, like two of the best players in Europe. I mean, maybe not the best players in Europe, but two fantastic signings again. And with Volley finishing second last season and getting to the Europa League final, I really thought we'd kick on, and I was expecting really big things this season, and I still am. You know, we're not essentially out of the title race. If we beat Chelsea on Sunday, we'll be 9 points behind. But then we've got Arsenal, obviously, and it's a massive game again. And yeah, we've got Ralph coming in as well. So Ollie, long. I think with Ollie, it was a good appointment at the time. He sort of brought the soul back to United, as Gary Neville likes to say, and sort of brought back the United way. And a lot of players, before we had a lot of mercenaries that just wanted to sort of be there for the money. But I really feel like now we've got a real group, a bunch of lads that want to play for United, and I love watching them play. And the problem is, I think Ollie, eventually he got worked out. It was a lot of individual brilliance that probably got him through a lot of games, and that's why we were doing so well. But you get found out in the end, and there wasn't really any tactics. He always used to say, "Go out and enjoy yourself, lads." And yeah, now we've got, it seems like, a proper coach, and hopefully with this group of players, fantastic group of players, we can really kick on now with an actual manager, an actual coach. And I always wanted to give Ollie the benefit of the doubt. I think I'm probably one of the more old school kind of fans, a bit like yourself, mate. We're not we discuss this a lot, where we don't really like the current crop of fans.
Fickle way of
Fickle,
supporting a football club, yeah.
yeah, where, you know, they just want a few bad results. I'll sack the manager. I've never been like that, and you haven't either. And I think that's why we get on quite well, because we sort of share very similar beliefs. But yeah, excited now. We've got a proper coach in. I think the squad's there ready to win.
Yeah.
We do need a defensive mid, but apart from that, I think the squad's there ready to win. And you know, Tuchel came into Chelsea and won the Champions League last season. Why can't we go and do that?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
don't
cup
know.
competition. But
Yeah,
go on,
yeah,
mate.
yeah. I don't know. Like I feel as if I think I said this to you before with Ollie that I felt that I heard Adam McCullough say this the other day, and I kind of agree with him. That I think Ollie took you as far as he could take you. If you remember, I said when he first got given the job permanently, I said to you, there's no way that you're going to win a league with that guy because I think the fact that he came in gave the club a boost because of the fact he's a legend and because he scored the winning goal in '99 and all that kind of stuff. But like, I never thought that like he was that good of a coach that he could take you to the level that you were under Fergie.
Yeah.
I mean, with again with Ranić as well, I'm kind of like I don't know too much about him, but it seems like Jurgen Klopp is afraid, so maybe the rest of the league should be afraid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said to you before we started recording about Rio's comments after the Villarreal game, and this is why I said to you the other day that like Rio kind of sort of for some reason lost his shit proverbially and like become an online fan essentially, because I think when I heard that when you guys won the game against Villarreal, he was like, give Carrick a contract, give him a contract now, just
No
from winning
way.
one
Did he actually
game.
say that?
Apparently.
I mean,
I know that
that's
might be libelous, but yeah, like,
yeah.
apparently he did say that on BT Sport. I don't know.
With Ollie, we went on that 10-game winning run and beat PSG away against all the odds.
Which I predicted.
And I was like, wait till the summer, let's see where we finish. But they gave him a full-term contract, and then we started losing loads of games. So
Yeah, but
I
the
mean,
thing is, like, you finished second. No, you finished third in that season,
we
didn't
finished
you?
third. The season after, we finished third, and then we finished second. So actually, I mean, he did well, Ollie, and I think he'd be a fantastic director of football. The signings he's brought in, can't really argue with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
What do you think of the theory around Ronaldo wasn't Ollie signing?
I don't believe that. I think Ollie, if he was told, look, Ronaldo wants to come back to United, Ollie would have said, oh my God, get Ronaldo into the team. Because he is one of the best players of all time. For me, the greatest of all time. I'm going to be biased and say that, but he is. The numbers speak for themselves. He's one goal away from 800 career goals. He's just unbelievable. And even this season, we're rubbish, but he's scored 10 goals already.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's going to get 30 plus goals. And he's just an unbelievable striker, mate. I don't really. I think it's a bit of both, maybe. To be fair, I think commercial, it makes sense. I think for the team, it makes sense. He's still one of the best. So yeah, great.
And then
Signing.
if we flip the coin over to Arsenal, so obviously we've had quite I don't know really. Like the season started, and we've spoke about this at length as well. But obviously the season started off very very badly.
We have, and do you know what I said? Man City and was it Chelsea? First
Chelsea, yeah,
two of your
Chelsea, Man
first
City.
three games, they're going to be difficult. Chelsea just won the Champions League, and Man City were in the final. So you're
Yeah.
playing the two best teams in Europe in the first three games. I think Brentford away, that first defeat didn't help, and then you lost the other two.
Yeah, I think there was extenuating circumstances there, just because apparently, like, the game was 12 hours from being called off completely because Arteta couldn't field a squad because there were people that were coming down with COVID and that kind of stuff. I think also the occasion, being that it was Brentford's first time in the top flight, the first game with their fans back at the new stadium, which is, not far from where we work.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was, yeah, I think, and that's the thing. But we didn't play well. We didn't play well that game. But there were extenuating circumstances, and at that point, when we'd lost 5-0, we got battered by City in that third game, and at that point, you thought Arteta's going to be gone by October. We're going to have to start this all over again, and
Sometimes
we just needed that. I think the next game was Norwich, and we just needed that kind of narrow win to get us on a on a little bit of a run, which we did have. You know, there are very good wins over Spurs, over Aston Villa, over Leicester. So, and you know, and things were going well. Obviously, we've recently lost to Liverpool, and at the time of recording, Newcastle hasn't happened yet, so we don't know
we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you're playing Chelsea at the time of recording, aren't you, this weekend?
Tomorrow, yeah, and obviously it's a massive one for us because if we lose, we're 15 points behind. If we win, it's 9 points behind.
Yeah.
So this is it for me, mate. If we lose tomorrow, title done and dusted. But if we win, 9 points, we blew an 8-point lead with 6 games to go once. So I would never completely, definitely never rule it out.
I'm not sure.
With United as well, 4 points in our last available 21. It's absolutely shocking, and I think that's why he had to go in the end. But yeah, with Arsenal, I think you've got a nice little run together. Going to Anfield, you can always get beat badly there, and I
actually think the 4-0 was flattering. I don't think we were as bad as the scoreline suggests.
Do you know what? I was listening to Frank Lampard on Gary Neville's. What's the podcast thing called?
The Overlap.
The Overlap. And Lampard was saying that they played really well at Old Trafford. I was at this game actually, and then in the 60th minute, second goal, third goal, and then the fourth goal went in, and suddenly you've collapsed. And I think that was similar to you lot at Anfield. And sometimes the result doesn't reflect the game, and that's why some fans are like, "Oh, we've lost 4-0," but it's not always the case. And if Arsenal had scored first at Anfield, you've got a totally different game.
And if Mane had been sent off,
yeah, exactly. And if Mane gets sent off, you probably come away with a point or maybe even 3. So sometimes it's a bit out of context.
I said in my preview for today's game against Newcastle that the rational side of the fan base are probably thinking, well, Liverpool, Chelsea and City are those teams that are miles ahead of everyone else at the moment. And you kind of expect to lose, not necessarily 4-0, but you expect to lose to Liverpool at this stage where they are. But then the irrational side of the fan base turns around and says, oh, well, I knew it all along, even though the last time we lost the game was in August and it was to Manchester City. Like, oh, I knew all along that, like, this team was a crock of rubbish and Arteta's no good and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, you're forgetting that we haven't lost the game for 2 months.
Yeah.
There were some not great performances in there, i.e. against like Brighton and Crystal Palace, but we still didn't lose, And
also, I think a lot of fans are forgetting that this is the strongest the Premier League has been in a long time for me. I think since the 2007, 8, 9 kind of era when the English teams are dominating Europe. I think they're dominating Europe again. All the best managers manage in the Premier League. You've got Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, Ralph Rangnick. But all the best managers are here, and a lot of the best players are here as well. So it is really tough when you go to City, Chelsea, or Liverpool these days. You're expecting it to ruin your weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even for United, and that's the thing. I know you disagree with me a lot about this, but I still stand by what I say, that I think Man United and Arsenal are in the same boat at this moment in time. The only difference between the two teams is that you have more money to fix the problem and bring in good players.
See, I disagree because I think the squad's there, and I don't think Arsenal's squad's there. I think you're a young team that is building for maybe 2-3 years, but I think United's squad is ready to win. We need a defensive mid, but apart from that, it's ready to go, and it just needs a coach to, release that potential in the squad. And that's why it's been so frustrating, really, because
that's I agree with you, and obviously I'm not a Man United fan, but I agree that like sometimes I watch Man United play and I think to myself, you've got such a good squad. I mean, to be fair, for a long time, the last time you had a bad squad was just after Fergie left, and I think since like Mourinho and end of Van Gaal and now into Oli and all that, you've had decent players, like really, really good players. And this season, you've had probably the best starting 11 possibly in the league, I'd say. On paper, you've probably got the best starting 11 in the league. That's probably an unpopular opinion, but I actually think that is the case.
That's what's been so frustrating.
Yeah, and then you've got Cristiano Ronaldo in your team, and you're playing like a League Two side. Like against Watford, it was woeful.
I mean, we lost 5-0 at home to Liverpool. We were 4-0 down at half time. I've never seen anything like it. And with the players on the pitch as well, it was just so embarrassing. And then against City at home again as well, couldn't even get the ball, mate. Couldn't even get the ball. And losing 4-1 to Watford, he had to go. But yeah, that's why I'm excited now, because if we've got a proper coach in, and Ralph, I mean, 2-3 weeks ago, United fans didn't know anything about him, but from what I've read, he seems like he's got a style of play. He seems like he's got a lot of experience as a coach. And in 6 months' time, if he goes into a director of football role and we get a Poch or a Ten Hag or Rodgers, I think it's looking positive going forward. And I don't think United have really had that for ages. We just had Ed Woodward doing all the signings. So yeah, I think it's looking positive for the future.
I sort of think that with Arsenal as well. I mean, I'm still 50-50 with Arteta at the moment, but that's basically because of his inexperience, because obviously this is his first job.
There's not much to go by, is there?
Yeah. But at the same time, I think I said this to you the other day, that like I can't be one of these people that just like makes an absolute judgment as soon as we lose a game or we win a game, because and even when we were going through the bad periods, when we went through those 3 losses at the start of the season, I was like, even then, there's still something there. That's the thing. You can't say that like he's a bad coach, because he came in his first 6 months in the club and won a trophy, regardless of whether it's the FA Cup or the Community Shield or what. He won 2 trophies.
That is actually
on paper
a great achievement, and Ollie never did that. Unfortunately, he lost the Europa League on penalties, which, in another life, he wins that.
Yeah.
But
if Ranieri was there, you'd probably win it.
Yeah. We would have won the match for extra time and penalties. I mean, and obviously we just went to Villarreal, same team, and won 2-0. But with Arteta, that's what I think. And we've always said to each other, give the manager a chance. And I think with Arteta, you've got to give him a chance. And I think there's a lot of good signs definitely in the run you've had recently.
Yeah.
There's a style of play. It looks a little bit like the way Wenger used to play, with the passing, free-flowing football. And I think let's see where he finishes.
I'm not sure, because I think there's a I don't think it's similar to Wenger. I think that the one thing that Arteta has done is that he's made us manage games a lot better, which Wenger didn't do, especially towards the end of Wenger's.
Towards the end,
like we're a lot better, despite losing to Liverpool, and as we don't know what's going to happen at Newcastle yet. But we despite losing 4-0 to Liverpool, we still, I feel, are a lot better defensively, and being able to manage games a lot better. If you look at the Watford game, for example, we scored that goal and Watford just piled on the pressure from that moment onwards. They had, not for the whole second half, but they kind of had pockets of where they looked pretty good, and we still managed to keep that 1-0 win. So that's something that's definitely improved. The one thing I would say, and I've said this a few times in my previews and match reactions and that kind of thing, is that attacking wise, I still don't think we're there, because I feel like Aubameyang has been up and down this season.
Lacazette need a striker.
Yeah. Lacazette has been asked to do something completely different to what he normally does. He's sort of been playing in that number 10 role, which was meant for Ødegaard, but Ødegaard's kind of been a little bit indifferent the past couple of games. So it's a weird one. I don't think we're going to get a striker in January, but I think we do need a striker, because it looks like Lacazette's going to leave anyway, so we'll need a striker.
It's age as well. I think they're getting on a bit, Aubameyang and Lacazette. And do you know what? I really like Smith Rowe and Saka. I think those two, obviously, hopefully they help us win the World Cup at Christmas next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
But, those two have been fantastic going forward. But then you need that vocal point at the end. And I think if you've got a proper striker in, and maybe another, I think you need a midfielder as well, really. Like, we need a midfielder. We both need a midfielder.
You mean someone to replace Xhaka?
It's like it's like a Fabinho or a Fernandinho or someone like that that's solid. and can let the rest of the players go forward. I think
Yeah.
both of us need that. And
Well, that's the problem. I don't actually think you've got a defensive midfielder anymore, apart from Matic. And Matic is like, for some
he's too
reason, seemed
old.
to have aged overnight.
I really want Declan Rice. I think he's been
Yeah.
amazing for West Ham, and I think he's one of the reasons why they're doing so well. Because
Would you take Calvin Phillips if you
No.
couldn't get Declan Rice?
No, I wouldn't. There's got to be someone else out there. But they're saying Ralph Rangnick, apparently he scouted Upamecano
Yeah.
from out of nowhere, and obviously
Yeah.
he's an amazing centre back. So I'm hoping someone is discovered that we don't know about
Yeah.
and is brought into our team. And I'm guessing you're probably hoping for similar because there's not many out there.
Well, I think the signings that we've made have actually been turned out to be quite decent so far. Like everyone was like shitting on Ramsdale when we signed Ramsdale, and like Ramsdale has blown Bern Leno out of the water so far.
Yeah, he was amazing. What was that game where he won man of the match? Was it
Leicester.
Palace away?
No,
Oh,
I
it was
think it was
Leicester
Leicester.
away. It was
Leicester
Leicester
away.
away. That was
The save that
ridiculous.
he pulled off. Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so there's that, and then who else? And then Tomiyasu I think has been really good, and I said
He's
in my
been a surprise. Yeah.
I said in my preview for the Newcastle game, for today's game, I said I don't know how Bellerin comes back at all after Tomiyasu's been there. And I'm not saying that Bellerin is a bad player. He's just like I don't think he's what Arteta wants in terms of like defensive cover on that right hand side.
I think that injury did him in.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's not. He lost a yard of pace, and that
Yeah.
as a fullback these days, you need to be so good.
Yeah.
And it's done him really. But
Yeah.
then Tomiyasu has been fantastic. Actually, I've been surprised.
Yeah, and then you've got
Ramsdale, I get the slander because he got relegated twice. I think so. No wonder people are like 30 million.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah, and then obviously we brought Ben White as well, which also people like had a go at because it was 50 million.
Yeah.
And I think the partnership between Ben White and Gabriel has been really good. I know there's a lot of Arsenal fan, Saliba fan FC that are like, complaining about the fact we spent 50 million on Ben White when we got William Saliba there and all this kind of stuff. And it's more like, I would rather, what was my position on it a few months ago? It was like, Saliba's obviously got talent because he's had decent loans and he's having a really good loan spell at Marseille at the moment. But at the same time, it's like when he's been in the Arsenal team, he hasn't been great. So it's just better to, and if there's no space for him, then it's better to loan him out than keep him there sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And hopefully he does come back next season and prove me wrong that like he is better than the two centre backs we've got there already. He'll definitely be an upgrade on like Pablo Mari and Rob Holding and people like that. But yeah, I think
White as well. I think it's similar to Harry Maguire. He's been in poor form since the Euros. In fact, I think all English players have, apart from Declan Rice. I think they've all been poor.
Sterling's been all right.
He scored one goal, I think.
Yeah, it's true actually.
Yeah, and Harry Maguire cost £80 million, and that just, if you're poor, and then you cost that much, you start getting a lot more, abuse than you deserve. And Ben White's similar because of the English tax. Everyone's like 50 million, so he has to be amazing. Otherwise, he's screwed.
Yeah.
So
do you think? Speaking of Harry Maguire, do you think it was a good idea to give him the captaincy?
I think that with the captaincy, people look into it too much. I think he's just in poor form, and I think all the players have been in poor form. You could give it to people who say, "Oh, Bruno should be captain." Last season, people were saying that he's been rubbish. So
that's really shocked me. I'm actually really surprised because, like, what was the game I watched recently? I think it was Man United. The last United game I saw live was the 5-0 against Liverpool.
Yeah,
because I sort of dipped in and out of your win over Tottenham, and
of course you dipped in and out of that one.
Well, at least Spurs lost, so that's all right.
Yeah, that's true.
Even with Conte, they're not doing any better. I love the way that like that guy really annoys me. Like the way Jamie O'Hara's like, "We've got Conte, we're back." It's like you lost 2-1 to a bunch of Slovenian farmers.
They were the lowest ranked team in the Europa Conference League.
I know, it's insane. Anyway.
Yeah.
but yeah, so, and I couldn't believe how quiet Bruno was. Like I was thinking last season this guy was like Mesut Ozil at like prime Mesut Ozil, like
Yeah,
then I don't know
he's
what's
come
happened
up
to
with
him.
some good moments in the home game against Atalanta when we came back from 2-0 down and 1-3-2. His assist for Rashford's goal was amazing.
Yeah,
But before that, he tried these like long balls, and like 10 times in a row he gave it away, and it was just ridiculous. But then he does that, and then in the Tottenham away game he puts it on a sixpence for Ronaldo and just smashes it in.
yeah,
And then he does have those moments of brilliance, but overall this season he's been really poor, and that's why with the captaincy, your question, they've all been rubbish, Dan. They've
yeah,
all been so poor this season.
yeah.
Ronaldo, in fact, has been the only player that's been good, and I'd probably give him the captaincy based on that. But yeah, I think with the captain one, people look into it too much.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only reason why I ask is because I've heard a lot of people say that Harry Maguire should have never been, like Goldbridge, I've heard say it, that like, Harry Maguire should have never been given the captain,
Yeah,
this kind of
but he's
stuff. And
been captain for 3 seasons now. Like, it's easy to say that now, just when we're
yeah,
playing
yeah,
poorly.
exactly.
And
But it's
also,
always when things are going badly that people say
yeah,
this shouldn't have happened.
they
You
never
know?
say it when we're playing well. It's the
Yeah,
last 2 seasons
exactly.
when he's captain, getting us third and second. And
Yeah,
if he was fit for the Europa League final, we probably would have won that, and he's lifting the trophy. So
yeah, yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, he's a great captain." So yeah, I don't really buy into that. But
Because
also,
Arsenal fans say the same thing about Aubameyang. They say, oh,
yeah,
because he's not playing well, he shouldn't be captain. Like Tierney should be captain or something like that.
I mean, also, unfortunately, for a lot of the captains these days, they're probably compared to like Keane and Vieira, who were the best ever.
Yeah, exactly.
John Terry's and Vincent Company, players like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, it is difficult being a captain these days. I think for England, it's a weird one with Harry Kane because sometimes he's awful and
yeah.
he's captain. So
I mean,
yeah,
Harry Kane's been terrible this season, and I know why he's been terrible because he
doesn't
doesn't
wanna
want to
be
play
there.
for Spurs anymore.
Yeah, we can both laugh about that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But yeah. So moving on to the game,
yeah,
how do you think it's going to go? I mean, I know what you're going to say, and I'll probably say the same thing.
I mean, I was worried about the game, but I'm not now because it's difficult as well because we haven't had Arsenal play Newcastle, which is happening in about an hour, and United obviously playing Chelsea away tomorrow. We don't know how those results are going to go, but we've obviously got Ralph coming in this week, and I think with Old Trafford, the mood is going to be so different at home. The crowd are going to be really up for it. After losing to City and Liverpool at home, Arsenal is always a big game anyway. With the long rivalry that we've had, I think the crowd's going to be massively up for it. Thursday night under the lights at Old Trafford, I think we're going to win. I don't know what the team's going to be. I can't predict that because I didn't even know who this manager was a few weeks ago. But yeah, I've got a good feeling. I think we'll win by maybe 2-1, 3-1. I think you'll get a goal because Arsenal are a decent side these days, and first goal's key as well. I think that is a massive factor because the home crowd could turn as well if we concede first. But I'm feeling optimistic, and I wouldn't have been if Ollie was manager. I'd be really worried because I think Arsenal are a really good team this season. They've really come a long way, and they've got a good young team, I would say. Arsenal are that at the minute. They're still building and they'll improve every season, but I think they've got a good young team. But I think they'll fall short on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit more in the middle about it, really. I think that we've had quite a decent record against you. Well, I know it's not necessarily Old Trafford, but we haven't necessarily lost Old Trafford for quite a few seasons now. I think that this is, I mean, because I don't know too much about Ralph Rangnick, I'm not really sure what it's going to be like. I don't know whether it will improve you or whether you'll be on this new manager bounce or anything like that. So I'm kind of like somewhere in the middle. I think that we can win the game. I think Arsenal can win, but I'm not sure whether they will. I can see it being a draw because I think the last, I don't know, 4 out of 5 times we played you at Old Trafford, it's been a draw.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see a draw. For some reason, to be honest with you, it all depends on what happens in the game at Newcastle today. And obviously, like, this is going to be old news by the time I'm doing, the reaction later on today for Newcastle. But like, it all depends on what happens today, because I think if the players react well and bounce back from losing to Liverpool, and we put in a really good performance against Newcastle and win that game convincingly, I think going into the Man United game, I don't think it's as open and shut as, well, it's Old Trafford, so Man United should win that game. And I think the games that we have played against you, both at home and away, at the Emirates and at Old Trafford, it's not been. I can only really think of one time where either team has been dominant over the other. So I remember we played you. I think it was in the league, wasn't it? Was it in the league or in the FA Cup when Sanchez scored for you? When Alexis Sanchez scored for you?
That was against Arsenal.
Yeah. Martial scored it was Sanchez, Lingard, and Martial, I think, scored for you.
Oh, well, that was in the league.
Yeah. So that was at the Emirates, wasn't it?
That was Lingard scoring 2, though. Sanchez didn't. Oh, that was FA Cup, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the 3-1 away. We like playing at the Emirates, actually. We don't really like playing you at Old Trafford recently.
Yeah. So there was that from you guys, and then there was the 2-0 that we beat you, I think last season at the Emirates, where we completely blew you off the park essentially. But like, I don't think it's been that wide since the rivalry was at its point with Fergie and Wenger. It's always gone either way. You've either narrowly won it, or we've drawn, or like we've narrowly won it, or something like that. So I don't know. I don't think I can be as open and shut as like Arsenal will win, Man United will win. I think it's a bit more.
I do agree with you. I think a draw is very likely. I can't see us losing at Old Trafford again, just because the Liverpool and Man City results were so bad. I just can't, with that group of players as well, I can't see them losing again.
Well, this was going to be my point. Yeah. That like the only difference I think this time is that you've got Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah,
and he enjoys scoring against us quite a lot. So
he does enjoy it.
So I'm kind of like worried in that sense that like it'll be 1-1 until like the 85th minute, and then Ronaldo will score one of his towering headers. So yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But I don't think it's as open. And remember, this is a completely different Arsenal team to ones you played before. So maybe it might go away, it might not. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Like if I was thinking logically, I'd say Man United win just because of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And I know it's not good to go against your own team, but I don't care.
I think a draw or a United win. And I just can't really see us losing again at home. Unfortunately, because sometimes the odds just are against you, and there's only so many games we can lose at home, surely. So that's why I think, with the new manager, the crowd up for it, and unfortunately for Arsenal, that is part of football. Sometimes you get that new manager bounce, and it's the worst time to play us, isn't it, really? If you could have played us 2 weeks ago, I would have said, do you know what, Arsenal probably beat us at Old Trafford. But now, because of what's happened, it is more likely going to go our way than your way. And
is that Ranić's first game in charge of United?
Yeah, because tomorrow Michael Carrick's still in charge, so that'll be his first match, which it just makes it even worse for Arsenal.
That's what worries me, because it's like a new manager. It'll be your first game with him in charge, and and you've got players that can hurt us. I was watching one of the AFTV things last night, and Robbie turned around and said, I don't know whether you would agree with this, but his opinion was that Man United were poor against Villarreal, but like Ronaldo just out of nowhere scored a goal.
I thought we were pretty even, but then we played some great football for the goals. I mean, Fred pressed, and then Ronaldo chipped the keeper, or lobbed him actually. But the second goal we scored was amazing football, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. So we played some good stuff, but we needed De Gea as well. He made some really good saves as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you're due a bit of luck as well, and
Yeah.
I think that's where I feel with United Arsenal as well. I feel like it's just got to that point where Arsenal are a bit unlucky. We've got a new manager in, and yeah, that bounce is coming. But maybe I'll
Yeah.
be wrong, and I'll be really upset
Well,
again.
I don't know. I mean, Spurs fans were expecting that with Tottenham, and that hasn't happened yet. With
Yep,
Conte, sorry.
that's
And
true.
that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
So, I don't know. I think it's we'll just have to wait and see. That's always my phrase. Let's see what happens,
let's see what
because it's
happens.
easy
Yeah,
to speculate, but it's
yeah.
it is what it is at the end of the day.
I think we've got a similar sort of opinion now on the outcome of the match.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So yeah, in terms of like the future for both clubs, how do you see the season going now that Ollie's gone and you've got Ranić in and potentially either Poch or Ten Hag coming in next season? Do you think the future's bright for
I,
United?
I think the future is bright. I'm excited now because do you know what? We all love Ollie at United, and as a player, he's an absolute legend. As a manager, he, as Gary Neville said, he brought the soul back to the club. You know, he brought one of our legends back, Ronaldo, and he got us second and third. He got us to a final. Didn't quite get over the line, but we had a few good seasons under Ollie. Played some nice football. I think there was a statistic that we scored over 5 goals 10 times during his reign, and that only happened twice under Van Gaal, Moyes, and Mourinho put together. So we played some exciting attacking football as well, which is what the fans want. I'd always rather win a boring 1-0 than have exciting football every week,
Yeah,
because that's what gets you trophies. But I think now we've got a proper coaching, really, with Ralph, and let's hope he gets us. I think we'll finish top four. I don't think we'll win the league, unfortunately. I think we'll
yeah,
potentially finish top four, have a good cup run, and then we'll see where we are next season. Depends on who comes in, depends on the signings as well. But
yeah,
it's looking bright, I think. I think Ollie did a lot of good, but as we both agree, couldn't quite get us over the line in the end. And that's where hopefully this new manager bridges that gap and can take us to that next level.
yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, with Arsenal, I'm still, the jury's still out for me. I mean, I think there is I don't think we're going to finish 8th this season. I think it's very likely we'll finish in the Europa League positions. I don't think we'll get top 4, regardless of what a lot of fans seem to think that we're. I know we're only 3 points off of top 4 at the moment at time of recording, but I don't necessarily believe that we will get top 4. I think we'll probably end up finishing 5th or 6th, if anything. And I have a feeling, and I bet now, come February, March, when this normally happens, I'm going to be kicking myself. I have a feeling we might win the League Cup, because it seems as if Arteta is got it in him to win trophies, or has found out a way to win trophies. So, and I feel like the performances we put in so far in the League Cup have been pretty good, and that's been with a second string side. So I think there is a potential there to come out of the campaign with the League Cup at least. So yeah, I don't know. I see potential there with Arteta, and I see that like the team is changing. I just think it's going to take another couple of seasons to get us into a position where we're getting back into the Champions League. And I don't think the way football is at the moment, Arteta's going to be given that time. If we have another season where 4 games in or 3 games in, we're not doing, when we've lost them all or something like that, I think eventually, unless the Arsenal board and Edu are thinking we want him to be here for 5-10 years, then, and they're going to give him all the time in the world despite the fans' pressure. Yeah, like if we're not kind of pushing for top 4 next season, I think it might be curtains for him, but which will be a shame, because I think he's doing an okay job.
I think that's where it boils down to it, really. Next season is similar to Ollie this season. If he gets, a few signings in, expectation goes up. So everyone's going to think, oh, Arteta should be, pushing for almost the league. And if he's not, there's extra pressure. There's extra, it's not good enough. This is Arsenal FC. We need to get rid of the manager.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's the way the world works.
Yeah.
And because of his track record, he is a good cup manager. Do you know what? My dad always says that between 68 and 93, we had good cup managers and they didn't go far enough in the league. And the league form is what you base a proper manager on, how
Yeah.
well they've done, because anyone can really have a good cup run and win a trophy.
Yeah.
Portsmouth have won the FA Cup,
Yeah.
Wigan won it,
I don't think
together,
that that annoys me in a way, because I hear a lot of like the Arteta out brigade saying that
yeah,
people like Lee Gunner and people like that saying, oh well, people that like wanted Arteta gone before he'd even managed a game and all that kind of stuff, where they said,
yeah,
oh well, he's won the FA Cup, Wigan have won it, Portsmouth have won it. It's like, well,
yeah,
the FA Cup is the oldest trophy in English football. Like you
yeah.
can't, like I don't understand this diminishing of the FA Cup.
No, I
You know?
think that is a bit unfair.
Yeah,
But your league form is where the club is
I agree
really
with
at.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
and I
agree with
think
you there.
and I think if results aren't going his way next season, if he's not improving with extra signings, but from what I've seen, to be fair, he's brought in some good players in the summer, and actually after the first 3 games, you've really kicked on, went on a good run. Um, And I think Arsenal will have a decent season. I think they'll finish top 6. I don't think they'll get top 4 because there's just not enough quality there yet.
Mm.
And I think that's what will happen with Arsenal. And then it's the same with United are in a different era now because Ollie's gone. So it's sort of, we're not starting the process again, thankfully, because we've got the players in.
Yeah,
I don't think we need that many signings. I think we need 1 or 2, and that's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But again, if results aren't good enough next season, fans will call for the manager's head because the players are there, and if the
yeah,
results aren't, you know how it works, mate.
yeah, yeah. I know, but yeah. So I guess final thing to say. I know we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but final prediction for the game on Thursday.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 United win. I think we'll just about narrowly win.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really cautious because you know me. I'm never one to. But yeah, um, I'm going to say a 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went with a nil a few seasons ago, and we drew 2-2 with you.
Yeah, I was in Thailand at that time.
I hope it's not 2-2 again because we need points now. We've had 4 out of 21.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah,
But,
on that note, I guess we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining me on this, and supporting the movement, so to speak. It's been really, really interesting chatting to you.
no, brilliant. Thanks for having me on, Dan. And it's always a pleasure chatting football with you. And yeah, I'm sure in the future we'll be definitely doing it again.
Hopefully. Well, I hope you enjoyed the experience at least. I mean, I'm not like, AFTV
No,
United stand level, but it's better than nothing, I
if it
guess.
was AFTV, I wouldn't come on. I'm only coming on here because it's you.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Cheers,
Well,
mate.
all right. Yeah, I will speak to you soon.
Yeah. Take care, mate. I'll
Thanks for doing
speak to
this.
you soon.
Take
No
care.
worries, mate.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye. So that was it. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. As I said, you can follow Stefan and his ramblings on Manchester United at thatguystefan on Twitter, and I think on Instagram as well. I'll leave the links in the description below. Hopefully have him on again talking about Man United. I'll try and get some reaction from him as well after the game on Thursday. So yeah, that's it. I'll leave it there. I will be back again also giving my reaction to the Man United game. So until then, take care and stay safe.